couple of coaching points. In terms of, I've got it written up, backside scoop and then nose scoop. I'm going to talk nose scoop first. And I'm going to draw the guards back. I'm still not sure what I'm going to do with them, but it would make this easier. Now we're seeing less and less of this. There was a period of time, it seems like teams go through, at least in our league, they go through phases on how they're going to defend us. There was a 2 or 3 year period where it didn't matter what their normal defense was when they played us, they were going to be in a 3-3. And then there was a period of time where it didn't matter what their defense was, they were going to be in a 3-4. Now we're starting to see a lot more 4-3 and some of that kind of stuff. But here's our scoop technique. And I haven't done a very good job, I'll be honest, I've done a terrible job of teaching this, which is one of the reasons why I met with Ashley at the National Convention, because one of the things that I wanted to learn from him were the coaching points on their scoop technique against a zero nose. And so what I'm about to tell you is not the way we've been teaching it. What I'm about to tell you is the way I'm going to teach it, the way that Navy teaches it, okay? And I think we'd all agree they have a pretty good clue what they're doing, okay? Here's the deal. Center, if the play's going to the right, center's going to take an 8-inch 45-degree step, except it would be back here. An 8-inch 45-degree step, play side, staying square. The next step is on the ball. That's how they coach it. Next step is on the ball, where the ball was when it was snapped. Third step is vertical, okay? Ideally, they want to get, and we want to get, the center up to the backside linebacker. Because I will guarantee you, anybody that's run option football knows against a 3-4, if this guy, backside inside backer, is going to turn a lot of 15-yard runs into 3-yard runs. If you can get a head on him, you got something going if you've got a giver. Just like against a 7-man front, the backside safety is going to turn a lot of touchdowns into 8-yard gains. The backside linebacker is going to turn a lot of 15-yard gains into 3-yard gains. So if you get a head on him, now, the guard, and this is the learning part of it for me, okay? The guard is going to attack the near hip and read the near hip. And part of the reason that I haven't done a very good job of coaching scoop is I haven't really coached scoop. Here's what I've coached before. Center, you are driving through the play side half of the nose. Backside guard, you are coming as tight off the hip of the nose as you can to sell out on the backside linebacker. Understanding that if I taught it that way and the nose slanted away, the guard couldn't help but run into him. And if I taught the center's takeoff that way and the nose slanted away, the center's momentum would take him up. And I always, one of our mantras, never turn back. Because part of the problem when you teach scoop and you teach kids to read things after the snap, they go about 3/4 speed. The backside guard's coming up, okay, I'm reading his backside hip. Is it coming to me? Is it going away? Instead of just frickin' selling out and getting after it. Same thing with the center. He takes off, okay, is the nose coming play side? So my experience in the past has been that we haven't gotten as great a takeoff trying to teach the scoop. So I stopped teaching the scoop a while ago and just used this nomenclature to do it. Most of the time, if we're getting a zero nose for whatever reason, he's a lot of times a 2-gap guy, so we haven't had to worry about scooping a lot. But we're not getting the backside backer a lot of times either because our guard can't get there or whatever. So I'd like, even against a 2-gap, if we can get the center up to that backside backer, and we can get that guard at least get his hack, play side, and not let him fold on the fullback if it's a give read, we'll be okay. Because I figure if I teach this during preseason and it doesn't work very well for whatever reason, I can go back to this pretty easily. But if I teach this first and then try to go to that, we're screwed. So I'm going to try to teach this. If I can do a good enough job teaching it and get our kids going full speed during preseason, And if it's working, we'll stick with it. If it's not, we'll go back to this. But the backside guard now is reading the hip of the nose. If the hip's coming to him or coming straight ahead, he's going to get his eyes to the far hip and block and just reach block him, okay? If it's going away, he's going to redirect and get vertical. And get to the backside backer. The way that Ashley told me that they teach it, as he's reading the backside hip, you step into the ball, read the backside hip. If the hip's going away, he's going to get vertical to the backside linebacker. If it's not, he's going to get in the tunnel, is what they call it. Getting in the tunnel, which basically means getting in the rectum of the center and just following the center right here to pick up that nose, okay? So again, that's what I'm going to try to teach this year with that, and we'll see how it goes, okay? Like I said, I tried to teach scoop in the past. Probably haven't done a great job of teaching it, which is why they haven't gone full speed with it, which is why we came back to this. We've tried to do a better job of doing that this year. I think the center steps are probably key here. Now backside,
do you ever cut, coach, on your scoop blocks?
you know, it's funny. Obviously in college you can cut, which gives our play side slots a big advantage on the arc block over high school because we don't have to stay up and block and tall. We've had some really good slots that weigh 165 pounds because they can cut. The problem, the danger, and Ashley talked to me about this too. They coach their backside guard. If there's even a chance that that center's still engaged, stay up on his waist. Because they'll get you for the chop block and that type of thing. And you got this freaking umpire sitting right here that's got nothing better to do than look at that, and they'll get called. So I don't think I'm going to teach it as a cut. I'm going to teach it if he's in the tunnel. I'm going to teach it as an eyes on the play side hip deal, eyes on the play side hip vertical. That way, if the center's coming off as the guard's engaging, nobody's below the waist, so they can't get us on the chop block. That's the way at least I'm going to try to teach it. Okay? So now backside, we're running inside veer this way, or called fullback give, or speed option fullback, or whatever. Here's how they teach their backside scoop, which is interesting. Okay, these guys are scooping here. Backside tackle, if the next guy in is uncovered, he is selling out at the heels of the nose. Primarily concerned with him pitching. When I went out to Navy's spring practice 2 years ago, they were working on this, and they called it a 4-step race to the cutoff. Okay, it's a 4-step race to cut this guy off particularly if he's a 4-eye or a B-gap alignment type of player. So they're going to sprint to the heels of the nose. If they don't make contact, then they're going to get vertical. And he didn't say where he sends them. I'm going to send them to the backside safety. Okay? They'll work backside fold to backside safety. Okay? If the backside guard is covered, let's say we've got a backside 3 technique. We're running, we've got a front side here, so we're running inside veer this way, we're going to double here, blah, blah, blah. If we have what I call a 1 technique, some call it a shade, because I call it inside shade on a guard and 2-eye. If we have a play side 1 technique, and on the backside guard, he's coming down to double that, he's going to step and be solid. So we don't really need to worry about the nose crossing his face backside, because the center knows he's got help. So he's going to step to the crotch here with his play side foot. So if this guy's coming backside, the center can just turn him back. He doesn't even have to worry about scooping backside. So we're going to treat this situation like the guard and center did a nose. Okay? He's going to 45-degree angle step on where the down hand, next to where the down hand was, step here, get vertical, pick backside full player to backside safety, or free safety if it's an 8-man front. He's going to step to the down hand, reading the near hip. If the near hip's going away, he's going to get vertical. If it's not, he's going to get in the tunnel and get it cut off. Okay? So that's the way we're going to teach it. Now, a lot of this depends on who you've got playing with. Are they athletic enough to do that? Are they fast or quick enough to do that? My personal, and I'll guarantee you guys, we do not have the best players in our conference. Now, we finished in the top 3 in our league in total offense and scoring offense 7 out of the 10 years. We have 12 schools in our league. We've been pretty good offensively most years. Not every year, we sucked this past fall, but most years we've been pretty good. We're doing it with an offensive line that averages about 250 pounds. That probably the average offensive line in our league is 275 to 280. But they're athletic. You know, they can get off the ball. We had a right tackle this year that at the end of the season weighed 203. But he didn't have to drive block anybody. Now, traditional midline, he's got to be able to turn that 5 technique out in the 4-man front, get his eyes on the inside armpit, work his hips inside. But that 5 technique's not used to getting blocked anyway. He's gone, you know, play after play where the guy's veer releasing, veer releasing, veer releasing. So he's not getting his block protection up. So all of a sudden, our 205-pound kid gets his eyes in the inside armpit of their 245, 50-pound defensive end, and all of a sudden he's got his hips turned before that defensive end knows what's going on. Okay? So you can do those types of things. So my deal is we're going to work inside out. You better have a great center. You better have a great center. Your best or second best offensive lineman should be your center. One of your top 2 for sure, if not your best one. Obviously, you need a quarterback that can do the things that you need him to do. And you better have a fullback that can frickin' run. He's not an I formation, third guard type of fullback. He's a thoroughbred. He's a kid that is a running back at fullback, okay? Your guards should be your next best offensive lineman, in my opinion, because against an even front, they got to get vertical movement. They've got to get off the ball and get vertical movement when they're covered. They've got to be athletic enough to be able to scoot backside, get up on a linebacker, do all those types of things. Your tackles don't have to be as great of players. They got to want it. I mean, you can do a lot with you can do a whole lot with a whole lot of want to. Okay, you can do a lot with a whole lot of want to. I don't give a rat's rear if a kid's 6'2", 265 and runs a 5 flat 40. If he doesn't want to, he's not doing you any good. Kid's, 6'2", 220 and runs a 5'3", 40, but he'll give you every last ounce of anything he's got. I'll take those kids all day. We made a pretty good living taking a lot of wing T tackles and making guards out of them, and a lot of wing T guards and making tackles out of them. We've taken a lot of kids that have never played center in their life and made centers out of them because they were our best offensive linemen. So it all comes down to what works for you and that sort of thing.